Jonah Bobo and Brendan Jacob Smith started the touring production of the Simon and Garfunkel Story, coming to Chicago on April 30th through May 5th. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Thanks for having us. We're super excited to be here.
Brendan, when I chatted with you in 2022 when you were a part of the show, I remember asking you, how did you first get into Simon and Garfunkel's music? And you said, my friend Jonah introduced me to this music. And now this is a full circle moment for all of us.
That's right. We're doing the show together now. This guy that I've been singing together since I was 14 with, we're singing the music of Simon and Garfunkel in a professional show. It's pretty cool.
That's funny that you said that because I feel like I've told people that you showed it to me.
I think we both listened to Simon and Garfunkel separately, and we're like, wait, this would be good for us to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this touring production because they've obviously sold over 100 million albums, 10 Grammys, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, talk a little bit about the importance of their music to both of you.
Well, I mean, to us is extra meaningful because, like we said, we met when we were freshmen in high school and formed a friendship with using this music as a vehicle. Like we were singing together in stairwells, just two voices and a guitar, having fun, creating beautiful harmony, and then a beautiful friendship also blossomed from that. So it's very special to both of us for that reason. And then in terms of global impact, I mean, I don't think it's a stretch to say that they're the most popular folk duo ever of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Simon's songwriting has been performed not only by them too, but by some of the biggest artists ever. As I'm sure you know, like Aretha Franklin's version of Bridge Over Troubled Water is a huge hit for her and her career, which is already, dazzling with other jewels. And that's like one of the crown jewels of her career is doing a Paul Simon song. So I think that's one example of how it had such a global impact. And I think the personal nature of the music allows people to really connect with it emotionally.
How does this moment feel for both of you being able to start in the show, not only connecting as teenagers, but connecting through the music and now being able to, go tour the country performing these songs together?
I think in a lot of ways it's a dream come true for us because, when we were singing together in the stairwell of our high school, like just for fun during our lunch periods, I don't think we ever could have possibly thought that we would be doing it professionally and touring around the entire country. Actually, not only just this country, but we're in Canada right now. So not just America. But we had no clue that this would even be a possibility. We auditioned together for the show. A couple of our friends reached out to us and was like, hey, there's this professional touring Simon and Garfunkel show. Would you guys want to audition for this? And we were like, that's a possibility. We can do this for a living. So yeah, for us, it's just a dream come true.
Art Garfunkel came to the show recently. What was that experience like? Did you know ahead of time? What was it like when he got on stage with the two of you?
Luckily, for me at least, I'm so glad I did not know he was there. I'm portraying this man, so to have him in the audience was insanely special. And he came up on stage after I sung Bridge Over Troubled Water, and he literally walked on and gave me a hug. It was very overwhelming for sure.
I still can't even believe it.
I still can't believe it. Yeah,
I can't even believe that.
Yeah, I watched back some videos that we have of that happening, and I still just cannot believe that that's me on the stage and that's Art. It's just wild. Yeah, honestly, the week after, I was still kind of like, was that a dream that I had, or was that a real thing? But yeah, he was so gracious and nice, and we got to chat with him for like 15 minutes after the show and just kind of hang out, which is also crazy to say. It was amazing.
What was that experience like for you, Jonah?
Well, for me, it was a little bit different because the band and Brendan start Bridge Over Troubled Water without me. I walk off stage and they do the first two verses, and then I join them for the third verse. And so when I walked off stage, our tour manager was standing there in the wings, and he said, all right, Art Garfunkel is here and he's headed for the stage. And I said, is he gonna sing? And our tour manager said, I don't know. So that was actually the craziest because in my head, I thought that he was, not only was he there and watched us do the show, which was mind blowing, but I really expected that he was going to walk on stage and sing the part that I usually sing. And that probably would have made me have a heart attack. Like for him to not only be there, but join the show and sing.
And me not know.
Yeah, that probably.
Yeah.
So I walked out on stage to sing the third verse. He hadn't made it yet, so he didn't sing because he took his time getting to the stage. And when I walked out there, I had the knowledge that he was in the audience, and I was the only one. Everyone else on stage was just playing as if it was a normal show. And then when I introduced Brendan, as I always do, and then he turns to introduce me, there Art was standing right next to me. And
walking towards you.
Yeah.
Not just that. Yeah. He wasn't just standing at the edge of the stage. He was walking towards us.
Yeah.
That was one of the most overwhelming things ever. Yeah. It was crazy.
Without a doubt.
Let's talk a little bit about the songs and maybe the people's reaction once certain. I mean, you have such a connection, whether it's their high school, maybe it's their parents, that introduced to the music, maybe a relationship. But when certain songs start playing, tell me a little bit about the reaction of the audience members, of what you can see in their eyes or on their faces.
Well, I was telling someone else this in an interview we were doing yesterday, and it proved to be true today in the show, even out here in Canada, where they don't have as much of a connection to this music as we do back in the States. But every time I play the intro to Homeward Bound, that's all it takes. Like just those few notes on the guitar, that little lick, and people are like, "Oh, I'm so ready. I'm ready to hear this song. I'm back. I'm back in my memories." And so there are a few songs like that where as soon as we bust into the intro, people are just they're so excited to be there.
It's definitely a moment of like reliving certain moments, through their youth. And yeah, I think that a lot of people come up to us after the show and they say like, "Oh my goodness, like this music was like my childhood," or "This music was, like so much of my life. It means so much to me." And, I associate so many incredible memories with this music. So for us, or in some cases, tough memories, so like people get to relive this music in however, way they want to, and however way they kind of experienced it. But it's definitely nostalgic for a lot of people to hear this music, especially live.
Brendan, because not only are, this show ending in Chicago on May 5th, but then you're heading to London with T3 shortly thereafter.
That's right. Yeah, I actually think I have like 4 days in between this tour, and then I leave for T3 to go to Spain and then to London. Yeah, so it's a small turnover, but I'm very lucky. I feel very fortunate.
I mean, what's that? I mean, especially when we chatted last time, having that connection during the pandemic with different audience, with not just like a local audience, but a global audience, and being able to play your music, not just, on social media, but getting to travel the world to do that.
Yeah, it's really special. I mean, this is going to be our first time going overseas. We've been wanting to do shows in the UK and in kind of all of Europe for a very long time, and some opportunities came up for us to do that. And luckily, I had already signed up for this tour, but these shows kind of like ended, like they're happening right as this show is ending. So I'm really grateful that I get to kind of participate in that. But yeah, it's pretty overwhelming that we have any sort of audience overseas at all. To have, our London show is almost sold out, so it's pretty amazing, and we've never even been there, so it's kind of crazy that people are gonna come support us. So I'm grateful.
That's awesome. Brendan, Jonah, thank you both so much for your time today. The Simon and Garfunkel Story, CIBC Theater, 17 East Adams, BroadwayInChicago.com for tickets, and we can't wait to see you in Chicagoland very, very soon.
We're so excited. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.